You're on.
Hey there, we're going to go ahead and get started because we have a large group, and I was just informed if y'all can talk all day long. Is that true? Yeah. So, my name is Holly Willis. I'm the president of the Senior Care Alliance. I want to welcome you guys to our meeting this month. I have a few announcements, and then I'm going to turn it over to Crystal Lujan, who is our host for this meeting today. And first of all, before I make announcements, thank you, Crystal, for hosting and having a wonderful meal for us. Thank you very much. So most of you guys know it's going to be raining on Thursday, tomorrow. Hopefully, since the weatherman said it was going to be a 90% chance of rain, I'm going to be upset if it doesn't rain. We had to cancel our Senior Appreciation Day that's scheduled for downtown at the Riverfront Park. And so what we're going to do, since it's starting to already get hot, we're going to reschedule that till June. October. Why did I say June?
I don't know.
I don't know either. October. We're rescheduling our Senior Appreciation Day. We'll have a fall thing. Really nice. Okay, also, our next meeting is June 24th, and it's going to be sponsored by Blue Cross Blue Shield. We have several people from Blue Cross Blue Shield back there getting their food. Thank you very much. And then membership. In the back table, if you're not a member, we ask you to be a member. It's only $35, and you get all the food that you can eat every month. It's a really good deal. And then also, if your company can sponsor, you can sponsor up to 5 people with your company for $100. So if you're not a member, please fill that out. Our next event in June, before the next meeting, is going to be Sweet Connections. It's going to be on June 9th. And that's going to be a huge event for us. It's going to be at the Midtown Apartments. We serve them lunch. We have a big turnout. We play bingo. So if you're a member and would like to come and talk to the folks at Midtown Apartments, please attend that. Like us on Facebook if you don't, because I know Louise gets lots of calls about what's going on and this and that. She does an excellent job with our social media, puts everything on our Facebook page. So if you want to know anything about the Senior Care Alliance, you can go to our Facebook page or our website. And then the other 2 things I want to talk about real quickly is we're doing a new directory, and so we use these directories for all of our Sweet Connections and all of our events. If you would like to sponsor our new directory, please get one of those forms in the back. Y'all think everybody knows what our directory looks like, but here it is. And then also our conference. Lots going on at the Senior Care Alliance, and I am going to introduce, thank you, Vanna.
This is the directory, and it has a really cool info, guys, so get double marketing there.
A huge marketing event because we take those to every month to all the senior centers. Okay, I see Crystal in line, but I'm going to come and ask her to step out of line and introduce herself, what's going on in Baptist, and our speakers today. Thank you, Ms. Legion.
I am Crystal. I am the Director of Behavioral Health here at Baptist Health. And despite what you hear amongst all the changes that are happening, our behavioral health unit is open. It is remaining open. We have the same staff, the same physicians, and so you can continue to refer to the Senior Care for your inpatient psychiatric needs. Today we have 2 speakers who are going to speak briefly. Our first one is Mr. Francois Vanderwatt from Vanderwatt Prosthetics. He's going to talk to you about his service line, and then Jackie Floyd, who is one of our wound care nurses here, is going to talk about skincare and aging briefly today. So I will hand it over to Francois.
Thank you, Crystal, and thank you for having me. First time that I joined your meeting. Excited about it. So just a little bit about us. Vanderwatt Prosthetics Orthotics is a local company, locally owned. You might be familiar with prosthetics and orthotics. If do not. Prosthetics are the artificial limbs that we provide. Orthotics are any bracing or support. Looking at your population, what we see typically would be ankle braces, or if someone had a stroke and they're suffering from a drop foot diagnosis, typically you use a ankle brace that helps prevent that drop foot dragging, preventing falls. Another thing that we typically see from our elderly patients is they have hip or knee replacements. And as good as our doctors think they are, sometimes a leg length discrepancy. And then your patient might complain about low back pain, but it's really about the height of their unequal limb length. So we can do several things there. We typically would do what we call a shoe lift, so we can even them out. Most therapists would prescribe a back brace, which we can do, but that's not the cause of the problem sometimes. So any bracing we can provide. And then when we look at prosthetic care, if you're familiar with prosthetics, in this case we have a below knee prosthesis. So some of our patients do have diabetes, and we see that very prevalent in this area. And a lot of patients get foot ulcers because of diabetes, become an amputee. A lot of people are under the think that having an amputation is the end of it. It's actually just a new beginning. So we provide the prosthesis, getting someone more independent, less reliant on nursing staff or anyone else to get around, to transfer. People think that if you're in a nursing home, you can't wear a prosthesis, which is really not true. I think keeping someone mobile and provide them independence goes a long way versus having them stuck in one place sitting in a wheelchair. So anytime you have an idea or you have a patient that you consider are they a candidate for it, we are always doing free consultations, so there's no cost to you or the patient for a consultation, just to have the conversation to see if that's an option for them, if they can benefit from being more independent. With that said, any questions? I'm going to get straight to the short. Yes, ma'am.
What's the payer sources for that?
So it depends on, we pretty much taken any payer source as far as Medicare, Medicaid, and then your commercial insurances, Humana, United Health, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Again, there's some Blue Cross Blue Shield people in this audience. So yeah, it just depends on what coverage is. The only difference is when it's a long-term care facility, where the patient actually stays there and the facility bill Medicare for services. There's certain products that we can provide, and certain products needs to be paid by the nursing or the facility. So it's just a conversation to have to see what is the product that's needed, and then if it's going to be us billing Medicare or is it the facility billing Medicare. So, but it's there's a misconception that if you're in a long-term facility, you can't have access because the nursing home or the facility has to pay for services. It's not always true. There is a criteria that has to be met that can qualify the patient for services. Yes. We have two offices. We have one in Barling and one in Greenwood, so we like to serve the rural communities. We don't do house calls, but we do provide a case-by-case basis. If someone does need our service, we'll definitely. I think the advantage of a small company is that we are flexible and we locally own, so that we make the decisions. We don't have to go after corporate chains to get any answers. So sometimes the advantage to be a mom-and-pop shop is that we can make the decisions on the fly. So, but yeah, it's typically just having an open conversation and see what's the service and what's the needed, and then we just go from there. But there's no consultation fee. There's no. If a patient come and see us in the office, we don't have a fee that we charge. It's all based on the service.
Do you have to have like an order or a referral
they can self-refer. Once we get to the point where we're actually going to provide a service, and if we use a medical insurance, then we'll have to have a referral. But typically, it depends on if it's the PCP or who the referring physician is. It doesn't have to have a physician order if we're going to bill an insurance company. But if the patient just want to seek out information, just want to have a consultation, they don't need a referral for that, they just call us up and schedule an appointment. All righty.
Thank you.
I'll leave some cards here, if anyone wants to be in contact with us, you can also just look us up on the web, we should be there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jackie, you're up.
I'm not used to using these. Can you hear me? Yeah, my name is Jackie. I'm a certified wound specialist and ostomy management specialist here at the hospital. Sorry, there are 3 of us here, but shortly there'll be 2, one. So, because our census has gone down, we're not going to have 3 of us anymore. So, I'm a specialist. Like a certified wound specialist, there's only 9 in Arkansas, so one of those. An ostomy management specialist is 3. So it's not a specialty that too many nurses go into. So it's nice that I'm wanted and needed. So one of it, which is what Chris said to me, we need you to talk. So I'm here. I'm going to talk to you. I thought there were going to actually be people in the community coming at 90 years old. So now I'm seeing you're all young and spring-like. I'll change it slightly. I bought some cream along, so the most top creams are for you. And if you have, if there's any left over and you want to use some for a patient, go ahead. It's on Baptist, it's not on me. So, skin. We've all got skin, and it's actually the largest organ in the body. It's 122 square feet, covers the body, and it acts as a protective barrier against environment, harmful products, etc. But obviously, as you know, chemical burns and things will actually penetrate that barrier. There are 3 layers to the skin. You've got the epidermis, the outer dermis, the middle, and then the hypodermis is or the fatty layer is right next to all the organs, the blood vessels, etc. So when you actually look at the anatomy and physiology of skin, it's pretty complex. When you think, we look at it and we just sort of wash it, rub it, burn it in the sun, have suntan, etc. So, sorry. Can you repeat it out?
It can, as in the tablet. So we need
Yeah,
to
go
mix
ahead.
it.
Go ahead, you're doing great.
Okay, I'm sorry, everybody.
Keep going.
Anyway, with the layers and everything. So 1 inch of skin, just so you know how much we've got in there, there are 1,000 nerve endings, 20 little blood vessels, 40 million cells in each 1 square inch. And those 40 million cells renew, that's per inch. So depending on how many inches of body you have, it renews every 30 days. So lots of the little mites and horrible things you find in the bed and all that sort of thing are just dead skin cells. So renew every 30 days. So girls, don't go and get dermabrasion and all that rubbish because it naturally exfoliates every 30 days, so you don't have to go spend a fortune. So it's interesting to know how it comes along. The one thing with aging is what happens with skin is that it slowly deteriorates and loses its usefulness, as we put it. We can actually try and slow it down a little bit. I don't think we can ever get rid of it other than surgery. And you've seen some of the disasters of surgery in the Hollywood fame. I'm not sure I want pink leather lips, but and all the other things, all the plastic, you know, I'm sure that, I don't know how they would stay up in the ocean, but they probably would float, wouldn't they? With the skin and everything, so it's something natural, and I found a little quote. Oh, it's here, sorry, it's not a quote. It's aging with grace. It's the practice of embracing the aging process with self-compassion, resilience, and a positive mindset rather than fighting it. It involves maintaining physical health, staying socially active, and cultivating wisdom and gratitude. It is a holistic approach. So it's a bit of everything. So if you've got grandbabies, they are wonderful at keeping you young and running around. And activity is a big thing. And I think nutrition, high protein will help the skin, lots of fluids. And as our patients and we age, we tend to not drink as much, particularly if you have incontinent problems or anything. You know, they don't want to drink too much because they're frightened of wetting themselves. I'm not there yet, by the way. I'm not there. Sorry, Kevin. So these are a lot of reasons. So some of you are obviously from nursing homes, and that if you can encourage your patients, even if you can get sort of 160s every couple of hours down, and at least it's some sort of fluid. So the skin, as I say, as we get older, we lose collagen and elasticin. And these are in the dermis, that middle layer of your skin. And this is what gives us the wrinkles and the bags and the sagging. But if you exercise, it might not sag as much. And then obviously the weight loss and everything, that's sorry, which yeah, I can see some pictures on the treadmill and everything. But it's true, it does cause all these problems. I said to one of the colleagues over here, I was saying what my age was, that there's no way you look like my age. And I said, yeah, wait till I take my clothes off. Sorry, Kevin. I do look my age. Don't picture it, I don't know. So, we can cover things up, but if we can actually stay healthy. My daughter wants me to go to the workout with her at 5 o'clock every morning. I can do that. But the more I look at my belly, and maybe that can. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that's in the middle layer. So unfortunately it does decline as in oils and sweat declines as well. So our older elderly patients, they cannot control their temperature as well. So they're going to feel hot and cold. They're going to be cold when we're hot. So we have to be careful. And the fatty deposits in those skin layers, they decline as well. So, they can't really regulate their temperatures. And the nerve endings, they can still feel, hot and cold and sensory things. But again, if you have had diabetes or arterial venous problems, they're not going to be able to feel as well with neuropathy, diabetes and everything. So you're going to get to a higher level of patients at home or residents, community members with burns, etc. That does happen. Most of the patients we get here in the hospital, diabetic patients, cannot feel their feet. So there's horrendous wounds by the time they get in here. They're frightened to take their shoes off, or they walk around the house with no shoes on, and then you can actually have the problems. And that last layer, the fatty layer, is where all your larger vessels, larger the nerves that go into the spinal cord, etc. That's where you'll find all that. So a wound to get down to that level, we're looking at real full thickness problem wounds that could become infected and everything. So if we can keep it to those top 2 layers, not let it get down any further. So you need to refer them to the podiatrist or a wound care centre. There's wound care centres in town, and now we're getting a lot of travelling wound care agencies, etc., that will actually go to the patient's home and everything. So there's a great need for the wound care here. So with wound care for you, it's moisturising the skin. So before it gets dried out, cracks, and then your infection starts, we want to put the moisturising cream, which you've got on the table here. These are for you. This is great. I'm always alcohol in my hands and everything all day long and washing them. You put this on, it's wonderful. It's got dimethicone in it, which is we'll use the blue one. She's there. We use the blue one, dimethicone on its own, and that's actually the barrier cream, so we can, patients who are incontinent, but they don't have any wounds, we'll put plain dimethicone on. And it's see-through as such, so you can see the skin. So if you're worried about a patient getting pressure wounds or something, you want to see that skin every 2 hours, we'll put the dimethicone on. And then if it's open, we'll use calcine, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. There's a pink paste, it's called blood paste, it's baby paste, it's not baby bottles, basically it's got zinc in it. And that will dry it out, which helps with the wound and moisture and everything. So if we do end up with depends, I'm sure one of us out this group will end up wearing depends. These barrier creams are fantastic. And then in the hot weather, people who do have a real incontinent problem, you know, sweating and everything, you know, you're going to get the yeasty rashes. And while I'm talking about it, going to see your clientele, these pastes and everything they have out, they have the antifungal creams out. Please, please, please do not put creams in folds. So the boobies and the groins and, you know, any problem, pancreas, abdomen, or whatever. Don't put paste in it, just actually makes it more moist. And then you've got a growth for yeast. And don't use talcum powder, that will actually promote yeast as well. They can use the cornstarch, but not talcum powder. We do have an antifungal powder we use here. You know, nystatin is a good one. Anything like that. And we put it on in a thin layer. I always say not an avalanche. You know, you pick up that fold, it looks like cottage cheese. It's just a light dusting, you know, you put some on and then wipe it off. So it basically just dries it. Sorry. Did you have cottage cheese for lunch? Everybody is a nurse and doctors, you can have conversations and it doesn't faze you one bit. And then you've got somebody sitting next to you in the restaurant. So you still get I used to work with a heart surgeon when I was in London. And he'd be talking about, you know, I had to get through the aorta, put my finger through here and suture this and that. And there'd be somebody sitting next door, you know, with a like red steak on their plate and everything you were talking about. That's amazing. So be careful that you tell them, you know, if you're going home or whatever. And I'm not sure where you will work, but I'm sure you can tell people what to do because a lot of patients get it wrong. The skin thins out a little bit as we get older, so harsh products using for wound cleaning, etc. Everybody's into the hydrogen peroxide. It's toxic and it will actually ruin their skin. We can actually put up with it a little bit, but you know, somebody who's got diabetes or other problems as well, the wound is not going to heal if you're using hydrogen peroxide. So warm soap and water is the best thing. We have burns patients that come in here, and that's what we use to clean our wounds. We don't use any other high things. So not dawn, that cleans Dove. Mild Dove soap that doesn't have any perfumes in. Start with warm water, clean the wound, and then cover it. Any wounds, tell them to cover. And then if it gets worse, obviously, you know, come into the hospital or whatever, or a doctor. Everybody should know the signs and symptoms of infection, so that's something we want to make our older clientele know that, you know, that's what could possibly happen and send them into the hospital. I'm thinking of other wounds. Diabetic, please make sure they do have teaching on taking care of their feet. As I say, we have a lot of non-compliant diabetic patients coming in. Just don't use it cold, less in the shoes or whatever. And have these horrible wounds. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? I think I went a bit longer, didn't I? Sorry. Is there anything anybody else wants to know? Oh, I was going to say that the wrinkles, I came No, I worked at the, sorry, Holly. I worked at the, Holly and I go back like 30 years. So our husbands, our first husband and my husband worked together. And so we put up a lot of stuff, and English stuff and everything else. So I came here, I've been married 35 years, Saturday just gone. So I came here 36 years ago. I was 34, I was at the spring chicken then. And I married my best friend, never been married before, traveled the world. And I worked at a private hospital in London, which is where Charles and Catherine have been for their cancer treatments. And I worked there for 15 years, so I looked after kings, queens, pop stars, politicians, everything. You know, my husband often says to me, "What are you doing here in Portsmouth?" I met you. No, but actually, at the end of the day, if you take somebody's clothes off and put them in a nightgown, we're all the same. Doesn't matter what kind of skin we've got, what religion we are, they're all the same. So I looked after the Queen and Queen Mother and William and Harry when they were small and everything. And other than a little curtsy, which actually is a bob of the head, we didn't have to do the whole bit of flat. Just a little bob of the head. But you start talking to them, and it's just like talking, you know, this is a little bit, a little bit more like this. But you can have little stories, and we actually working with all these famous people and film stars. I was in the elevator one day, turned around and there's Charlie Heston. Do you remember him? Yeah, he was standing next to me, this is his wife. We weren't allowed to ever say who was in there, we lose our jobs, just like that. So, I'm not going to say everybody, don't tell anybody. I can't write a book or anything, so I'll probably get sued by the children or whatever. You know, I looked after Paul Getty. Do you remember Paul? Do you know the Gettys over here, the photograph? Getty, the grandfather. And I looked after Paul Getty. He had the most horrendous wounds on his legs and everything. He never went out to clinic. He was real, it was like Howard Hughes and some of those other ones that just never went out anywhere. But looking after him, he was worth a fortune. And he had these 3 books on a little nightstand. And when I went over, he was in the shower, and I went over to have a look, and they were hand paintings of the Charitable Life Brigade. Hand paint, and each book was worth like 4 or 5 million, you know. And there's me flicking through in between each painting. And he came out the door and he goes, "Do you know how much those worth?" And I'm sorry. Put gloves on. So after a while, you got to know, you know, some rooms you went into, you had no justice, no justice. And he had a little spoon hanging around his neck, and I don't know what it was. Well, it was for this heroin, you know. That's what he was famous for, so it was really silly girl. So you never knew what you were going to walk into and everything. So I love my job. I love, because, you know, the patients are different, and I can teach as well as do their dressing. We have a laugh and a joke, I don't know about you, but I don't want somebody looking after me who's miserable and complaining about, you know, their salary or the boyfriend last night or that sort of thing. These lovely people aren't interested in that. You know, and our older clients, you know, we don't want to complain. You know, so I say to the nurses, geez, don't call them honey, they've got a name, you know. Show them some dignity and respect. So that's what I try to do. I'm 68, nearly 69. I think I'm proud of the way I look. I try to stay young. I'm goofy, as my colleagues will tell you. And I have a laugh and a joke. And I think that's how we should all be hanging our older age. We can all get depressed and look in the mirror and go, yeah, you know. But I found this. Wrinkles should merely indicate where smiles have been. So the more you have, the more you smile through your life and have good times. And I've had some really good times, and I wouldn't change anything in this world. So enjoy yourselves, and I hope proud that all the patients enjoy themselves too. Thank you very much.
Does anybody have any questions for either one of our speakers today? Thank you you guys so very much. Appreciate it. Now you're excused. All right, very good. We have some time to do announcements. Folks can come up and tell us what's going on in their building, or their facility, or their location, wherever they work. Some of us don't have buildings. But I thought it would be fun, since Jackie opened the door. When y'all come up, I want you to, if you've ever met somebody or stood beside somebody special or famous, y'all can tell us who that is. Maybe a fun topic. So I'll go first. Look at Ashley. Like, what if she lost her mind? You don't want to do it, that's okay. I'm Holly Willis. I'm the CEO of Legacy Heights and Memory Lane in Van Buren. We do independent senior living, assisted living, and memory care level 1 and level 2. And I stood in the elevator with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And he's really tall. Okay, Ashley.
How am I going to follow that?
I'm Ashley with Mercy Rehab Hospital. I actually came from Baptist, and let me tell you guys, Jackie, if y'all have time to pick her brain, she's wonderful, especially with those wounds that you're seeing, and she's really compassionate. I can honestly say that about a lot of the core staff here at Baptist. Like, they truly care. So if you guys need something, definitely reach out to them. Anne's got a wonderful team, and they can help you with any contacts that y'all need for those wound patients. Francois had to leave just something to add on his prosthetics. If you're taking care of a patient at home, drop foot, or if they have any kind of prosthetic leg, even if it's a prosthetic arm, any kind of prosthetic whatsoever, he can actually follow these patients when they go to facilities. So if they live at either skilled nursing or on the rehab side or the long-term side, ALS, independent living, he can come to them, fit them, and do whatever's needed. So just keep that in mind. Wonderful man. He also has been really good with helping us at Mercy Rehab on our prosthetic support group. Jessica Taylor, she's help manning that right now, but we have a free prosthetic support group. None of us really knows what it's like to lose a limb until we're truly in their shoes. And so that's just a safe space for those people to come and truly talk and find things that's going to help. And the wound issue is big on those type of patients. But anyway, inpatient rehab hospitals, we offer 3 hours a day of therapy. Patients typically stay with us from 5 to 12 days. We do intense rehab, and mission and goal is home. No referrals needed. I don't know about the famous person that kind of blew me or turned me for a loop, but I'm not really sure. But I can say that honestly, I feel like I'm blessed just being around all of y'all. I don't have to be around anybody fancy. But Jackie, like I said, she is wonderful. I'll pass it to who's next.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley.
I'm Candace Cox with Home Health Home Care, and we do the in-home care non-skilled side. So we're not touching people's wounds and stuff. But we do make sure that they get set up with services that will help them to manage their wounds. We do the activities for mind and body, in addition to the regular ADLs, bathing, personal care, all of that kind of stuff. And that just helps them. Everybody talks about staying active and doing things. So doing the activities for the mind and body actually helps them get up, move around, stay active, continue doing things that does help improve their quality of life. Because at the end of the day, it's what it's all about, right? It's what we're all here trying to do. So anyway, we are in 8 states. So my phone number is 479-316-4639. If y'all need anything, just let me know. I'm happy to help. If I don't have the answer, I know almost every one of these folks, I can find it. So, and my famous person, I don't know, is Priscilla Presley. I met her at Christmas. So,
Hello, I'm Cassie Barnes, and I'm from the Blossoms in Van Buren. My partner, Crystal, is over there from the Portsmouth Blossoms. Hey, Crystal. We are a long-term care and skilled facility. We do have male and female units. I offer VA contracts. My number is 479-670-0073. Thank you all.
Hello, I'm Wanda Harrison with WM Local Wellness. It's a matter of practice. I provide one-on-one therapy, consultation, workshop supervision. I'm currently going to Legacy Heights and Brookville, so if you have any residents that's in independent living, I can come to their home or their apartments and see them for therapy and insurance coverage. So my number is 479-274-8847. And I just met Boosie in the airport on Monday, so that's my famous person.
What? Which airport, first off?
Houston.
Okay.
IH.
I was going to say, not Fort Smith.
I'm Brady Carnes, I'm the manager of our Consultant Cross Solutions retail store. This is Kathy Champany, she is a retail agent. We host a lot of community events, it's free to the community, you do not have to be a Blue Cross member to participate. Our next event is Pies or Puzzles and Pies on June the 2nd. So if you know anybody that needs to get out of the house and just relax, they're welcome to come to this. July 2nd, we'll also have bingo. Independence Day bingo. So, you can go to our website, we have an event calendar out there, and it'll show all the different events that we host.
My name is Kathy. I just want to let you guys know, if you know anyone who's traveling, they can always reach out to us traveling internationally. We sell these insurance year round. If anyone needs dental, health, or vision insurance, they can reach out to us. Our phone number is 479-648-5635.
Thank you.
Hello, Brittany with Heart of Hospice. I wanted to kind of give you guys an update, mainly Kevin, maybe. You know, I have been trying to work on a GIP contract for people who are in a symptom crisis to get care locally. Right now, we are sourcing out to the rural areas for those folks that need hospice. I'm getting very close to getting that contract with Arkansas Extended Care. Dr. Schroyer is working on a couple of things like testing, TB testing. So I'm hoping next week we'll get that back and we'll be able to kind of get that contract in place and some education for their staff so that we can help folks here in town receive symptom management if they are on hospice. I guess the only person that I have met that is worth, I don't even know if you guys are going to know him, but does anybody know Big Al Mack, the radio host? I met him at his place of business a few years ago. So I got starstruck and just ran away, but that's all it is.
Hi everybody, I'm Mandy Kirkendall and I'm a recreation therapist and memory care program coordinator at Brookdale Senior Living. We're in Fort Smith, right across from Central Mall. We're assisted living, and we also have a secure community for memory care, and that's kind of where my specialty is. We have 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and studio apartments available. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call, 479-484-5556. And unfortunately, I can't think of anybody famous that I've really met worth mentioning before. Sorry, I don't have anything done.
It's all right.
Hello, I'm Sarah with Home Instead. We do in-home care. So we can come in and do cooking, cleaning, laundry, bed changes, shower, just whatever they need. We do go into all the facilities also. So if you need help with somebody in a facility, dementia, or had a surgery or something like that, we can do up to 24-hour care with them. And we take VA, long-term care, and Medicaid, and we do a lot of private pay in the area. As far as famous people, I have been to Disney World, so I've met all the characters. I am Shannon Johnson. I am with UAMS, West Central Centers on Aging, and the programs that we offer are, there's so many, I was trying to make a list because I forgot a brochure. But we do various health education topics out in all of the senior centers and out in the community. We do Drums Alive. We offer Tai Chi, Ageless Grace, virtual reality, we're dementia and Alzheimer's. It's a wonderful experience where you embody what they're going through in different stages. So if you have any questions, you can reach me at 479-478-8635. Leave a voicemail. We serve 14 counties in the state of Arkansas for our region, so we may or may not be in. And the famous people that I've met, I was trying to figure out the fifth person, but I can't find him. I think his name was Simon Bailey, but I'm not for sure on that. A wonderful motivational speaker. But I've met Will Wheaton. You guys know him from Star Trek or that 70s show. Bill Clinton, but I'm sure a lot of people have probably met him. Alan Autry, do you know who he is? From In the Heat of the Night, Bubba. I met him. Yep, and then Forrest L. Woods. Who knows who that is? He actually created and invented the bass boat, and he was a wonderful public figure, so I met him. So anyway, thank you all. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
I'm Sheila Brown with Area Agency. I've been in the area doing hospice for about 30 plus years, and recently, a couple of months ago, I started working with Area Agency. It's been a I was not aware of everything that Area Agency offers, but I'm just going to talk about hospice for now. I am the director there, and it is a focus of ours right now to build that program. I was so glad to hear Brittany talk about extended care. Hopefully, there's such a need in the community for that, so that's great to hear. I don't know anybody famous. I know, where's Jackie? Where did she must have left. Oh. She doesn't remember me, but she's very rememberable to me. I was a young nurse working at Mercy and thought she was the most elegant, beautiful lady I had seen. So that's my claim to fame.
Wow.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name's Latrell. I'm from Broken Hill Health and Rehab. This is a new skilled facility, skilled in long-term care. Excellent facility. If anybody knows anybody that's may need to go to one, we have all private rooms, which is amazing. Anytime you guys might want to stop by and do a tour, you're more than welcome. We love our facility. We love our residents. I know a few faces here that comes in. But you guys, we offer, we take Humana, Medicare, A and B, and private pay right now. So if you know anybody that may need a facility, Broken Hill Health and Rehab is the one to go to, okay? Our number is 479-227-5551. And a famous person to me is that I've actually worked for, is Jamie Lemons. She's a film producer. I don't know if anybody knows her. But her shows are on Apple TV, but I do her alterations for her.
Anybody else want to come up and introduce themselves? You don't have to work for anybody. You can just come and introduce yourself. This is just open. Anybody? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that little plug for the conference. Just a reminder. I believe it's September 24th and 25th. Just going off the top of my head, that's a Thursday, Friday. Get your themes ready, okay? We got movie themes. You can go whatever movie possible. Just remember the winner of that competition on decorating, they get a free sponsorship. Isn't it like the $250 worth? So we got our winner, Miss Kathy from last year, so she's coming in with a free sponsorship. I don't know about y'all, but I can really benefit from some free sponsorship. So make sure you get those ideas ready. Make sure that you guys are looking at those directories. That is what's going in the hand of every senior that we make contact with. Think about that. When they get home, they open up their bag, they look at all their goodies, they're going to open that book. And that book is itemized, like if they're needing wound care, if they're needing psychiatric help, if they're needing anything like that, they can look at it and it's itemized. Holly's got it. It's itemized. They'll flip to that page and they're going to see who they are options in the community that they can choose. There's also a tab in there that's That's a loose leaf piece of paper in there. It's a 911 first responder sheet. They can fill that out, they can put it on their fridge. I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever gone into a home, specifically like the EMTs and the paramedics, they're wanting to know what meds they're on, what are they allergic to, what have they been around, what's their medical history. Right there, that can save somebody. So if we can, if you guys can continue paying dues, being able to buy those sponsorships for those, and also get your conference sponsorship in. Senior Day's on hold, so you can share the news about that. It's going to post a rain on it tomorrow. Anything else? Since Holly didn't come up here.
You're awesome. You're gonna be my new famous person.
All right, other than that, y'all stick around, meet some people, and we'll see you next month at
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Blue Cross Blue Shield's hosting. Do we know who our speaker is? Fort Smith Police Department. Come on, guys, who wants to miss that?
Talking about scams.
Oh yeah, scams is a big one. So bring your parents, bring your neighbors, bring everybody possible for that one, because everybody needs to know not to change their insurance. All right.